You had one
ready?
job, Chris.
Welcome
One
to our
job.
own personal circus.
Yes, welcome to ADHD. This is a PSA. It's a very serious matter. Tons of people.
Somebody play the
are
circus
diagnosed
music.
daily. But again, we're going to play some Pathfinder tonight. Let's do this.
All right.
No more bunny trails. I won't engage with any of you. And I'm not even
2
gonna look at your
hours,
faces. Focus on the
2
camera. Focus on
hours
the
later.
Yes, we need to go down the rabbit hole.
No, I'm looking right here. I'm ignoring you four.
No, the game rabbit hole.
SpongeBob transition timing. 2 hours
Gonna narrate
later.
everything, and we're just gonna sit here in silence now. That's how the game's gonna go.
He's
Let's
gonna
do
mute
this.
us all.
Let's do this. How's it going, everyone? We are Quaternity of Dice, and as you can see, we're off topic today, but who cares? We're having a lot of fun together. I am Chris, I'm your Game Master, or GM, and these are my lovely players. Introduce yourselves.
Why, thank you. My name is Brent. I'm playing Zavi Advani. And, yeah, this is, well, we've been a little off topic, but this is gonna be fun.
Hey, I'm Abby, and I play Kaya Vespagen. I'm excited to see where this night takes us.
Hello, I'm Jalen J. Perez, and I'll be playing as Orion Thane. And yes, we are going crazy.
Hello, my name is Blake. I'm playing Toa Zora, and I'm the one responsible one here tonight.
It's kind of true. That's kind of true.
Jay just
But
did it
as-
so casually, so smooth.
So nice. But as I said, viewers, we are playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. More specifically, we are going to be using the remastered rules of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Pathfinder being a fantasy tabletop role-playing game where these fine players play heroes that are attempting to solve mysteries, fight bad guys, and end threats that are happening around the world. I say heroes, but you guys have a little bit of more gray area at times. Toa, we don't know about you yet. We'll see what happens to Toa. But with that in mind, for some of us, it's our first time playing. So take it easy on us, just a little bit easier. But that's, we're just having some fun. We all enjoy our company. That's why we're all off topic. That's why we're all giggling, because we like having fun together.
And we're getting there. We've come a long way.
That's true. That's true.
Please make sure to follow us on our social medias, on Facebook, X, and TikTok, so that we can engage with you outside of our YouTube community.
And please, lady and folks out on internet land, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Perfectly well said. So, before we get distracted any further, let's go ahead and get into our session today. And we'll see you after our brand new opening includes Toa. Although, it was brand new last week, I just didn't say anything. But, I'll say it now. Alright, and we're back. So, last week, you guys started off in the heat, literally, of a disaster happening in town. A good portion of the city is engulfed in flame after a bunch of explosions happened inside the port. You guys were able to make your way over to the main port area, with Toa providing some extinguishing of flames here and there with a clever use of spout, spell. And you specifically were able to save your favorite restaurant in town to try its catch. Once you guys
Priority
got to...
one check.
There you go. Once you guys got to that area, you got to work trying to do what you can. Pulling people to safety, resuscitating those who might have needed it, providing some small healing. Toa was able to put out and gain access to the Harbor Master's office, and he was able to allow some folks who were looking to get into it entrance so they could search for something. Kaya was able to kind of get a burn unit set up and provided some healing for a good many people, and then once the office was open, Toa helped as well with healing some folks. Orion was able to save some people who were stuck underneath some heavy debris. Took a little bit of heat damage in the process, but not enough to really take you down too far. Zavi, bravest of all, literally went into a burning building to save some folks. He went on the objective to save 3 individuals that were trapped, and unfortunately one of them didn't make it. Not by any fault of Zavi's, but just circumstances were what they were. All in all, you saved a good number of people. Once the clergy had arrived to provide further healing, Kaya realized that she had helped someone very, very important. One of the people that she had saved was the Harbor Master herself, Megara Robin. Although she is very badly burned, very badly hurt, she was able to be mostly stabilized, but she'll require some more intensive healing. But things took a weird turn after that. You guys, Zavi and Orion specifically, did a little bit of investigating around the Harbor Master's office and found some things that are just weird. You found evidence that Megara has been stealing from certain shipments. You found evidence that she might be involved in some sort of cover-up of something in terms of that bill or receipt or something that you found. You guys found that she's also involved in some sort of political corruption. There was some sort of election that took place, and from some evidence you found, you believe that she had been cheated. So while she was doing bad things, something bad happened to her as well. While in the basement, Orion also found something very strange. Looking into one of the crates, you found an entrance to an underground tunnel that leads further underground from the basement. You also found an interesting numbering system over her wine rack that corresponds to a piece of paper that Kaya found when she finally made her way over to the office. A series of numbers that correspond to another note that Orion found with what you guys assume is omnidirections. And so, theoretically, you can put those two together and see what comes out of that. You guys also found evidence that the ship that exploded was a ship called the Haggard Mast, and it wasn't supposed to be there. Another ship was supposed to be in its place, a ship called the Platinum Sail, which you guys all know is the ship that you guys encountered while on your way to Hookhandle, and had a member of its crew trick Zavi into giving some information. You guys also know that the person who runs that ship, whose full name you now know as Sven Vega, eerily looks like the person who Zavi saw all the way back in Alden Air, giving information to implicate you guys in crime, in the murder of that the death of that small child, and is the reason why you guys are on the run. And so, again, you found out that that ship was supposed to be there, and instead there was some sort of problem at sea and couldn't make it, and the ship, the Haggard's Mast, came instead, and that was the ship that exploded and caused a all this damage, and plus threw some weird old runes, ancient Exodus era style magic runes into the sky. I think that's all the weird intrigue you guys found as of right now. There might be some more that I'm potentially missing, but if so, please just let me know and we'll make sure that's added in. But where we left off, Kaya was furiously going through papers inside the Harbor Master's office, looking for the other half of the numbers piece that she found. But Orion did find that piece, and they're talking now. I think you guys are upstairs talking about that particular thing. Zombie, I can't remember, are you still with them? Are you still in the office somewhere?
I was still in the office, I believe. I don't believe I made my way upstairs.
And Toa,
Also because don't know the structural integrity of the building, maybe.
Zavi had went and asked around about the election stuff.
that's right, that's right.
Oh, that's right. I was doing that. That's right.
You are doing
And did we want that me and Orion had met back up, because last we left off he had discovered the ladder, because we had done the meetup when he found the paper, but then you were like, oh, you still had stuff you to find in the
That's right.
basement. So
Yes.
did we want to retro it so that we hadn't met up yet? So I'm still frantically searching for the paper, and Orion is down in the basement.
We'll just say that you had found all that stuff before running back upstairs to tell Kaya what you had found. That makes most sense to me, because I didn't want to interrupt you whenever you had talked to me when you had found the piece of paper. So I wanted to make sure that you had your chance to talk. But I imagine you found all the stuff downstairs first before walking upstairs to talk to Kaya. So Kaya, as of now, you know about the paper he found that has the direct link, the other half of the numbers paper, and you were also privy to the hidden hatch that goes down further underground. And yes, Zavi, you were outside talking to folks about this election, and that actually brings up something else that you had found out. 2 years prior, there was an election held to find who would be the city lord or lady. And you found out that Megara, the harbor master, had been on this ticket to be the next city lady. And she lost. But the weird part about that is she seemingly lost with absolutely 0 votes. At least that's what she thinks. She claims that she was told she got no votes at all. And that is why it's weird that you had all found a paper, or Zavi had found a paper talking about, or no, Kaya found a paper and looking through the mail.
Yeah.
From people from town saying, we know we voted for you, something's not right. And actually, now that I am looking at stuff correctly, I have the wrong date for how long the election was. That election was actually 5 years ago. So the current year you guys are in is 5082 of the current era. The election happened in 5077, so 5 years ago.
Okay.
I want to make sure I clarify that now. So, that was the big deal, what Zavi found out while you guys were, kind of looking into certain things. Toa, on the other hand, is kind of off jotting down the different runes that you guys had all seen in the sky when the explosions were happening, because this is something that Toa is curious about and is a good part of what he studies. And I think that there is a bit more for you to do while these guys are doing their thing. So I think we're going to start off with you, Toa.
Yeah.
So what are you doing besides copying down the runes and glyphs you saw in the sky?
So once I get those like general runes and stuff marked down, second thing I'm gonna do is start heading towards the water, not like directly towards the harbor, but like off to the side of it.
Okay.
Like kind of secluded almost. To the side and kind of just take off my top jacket and like wrap everything up like my normal journal and keep my spell scroll on my back and tie it up with some rope to my waist. And I'm gonna start wading out into the water.
Perfect.
And I will begin to start swimming out to the location where the ship that seemingly the explosions started from was.
Absolutely. With all the stuff that's going on, you can very easily do so. If your attempt is to not be seen, you are not. No one notices because they've got other fish to fry, as it were. But yes, you're able to dip down in a good portion where you don't quite, have people staring at you. And you can make your way over to where this ship is. And as you get down under the water, you do notice all the ships are, currently in the process of going down. And from this vantage point, you can see that the water, where it hits the land, dips down. It's a total depth of close to 50 feet. It's actually quite deep for what you would imagine. It does go pretty far down. The ship that had caused the initial issue, obviously what dock part or spot that was in, and it has all the way fallen to the bottom, and so you can get down and view it. And,
So one thing too is, with my spell scroll, because of the nature it was made, and the reason why it's tied to me is I'm using it almost as a buoy. So I am leaving it up on the surface and then diving under, so that way I have a idea of directional usage. So when I dive down,
really smart.
So it's a 50-foot length of rope, so it's like kind of wrapped around me a little bit, and then
Perfect.
I let it loose as I dive down.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna look for that wreckage, and I'm also gonna be looking out for if anything else is down there.
Absolutely. So, the very first thing you encounter is the ship that had exploded. You can see bits and pieces of it down at the bottom, but no large portion of it is intact. In fact, it's so broken apart that if you didn't know it was a ship, then this would just look like driftwood.
Yeah.
But there are some pieces here and there, like you can see a bit of a window, like a 4x6 foot section here and there of different pieces. But you can also see that it got so hot in some spots, like some parts of the metal, that it's still steaming, even after maybe almost an hour's time. Parts of it are still steaming underwater and creating little bubbles. A couple
Nice
of things
and warm ocean water, so nice.
Yeah. The one thing that is still mostly intact, you can tell, is one of the ballista that's at the front of the ship. It still seems to be intact. But are you wanting to look hardcore in the area, like try to scope around, see if anything seems off?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's any more so checking to see if there's anything that's there that shouldn't be there per se, like that seem odd or out of place.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking out for them. And you should know what I'm talking.
Yeah. So go ahead and make a perception check.
First roll. Just that perception. That is going to be a 16
16?
for a
Okay.
total. Yeah, 10 plus 6.
Perfect. So, combing around the area, you see bits and pieces. Like you can find some small parts that look like they were latches to, some chests here. Bits and pieces of like crate lid here and there. Obviously, some burlap sacks here and there. But there is one thing that stands out. It's very strange. With the ship itself is a very distinct part of the hull is still visible. It's still intact. And it looks like it's a bottom piece, because you can see where, like, if you're at the bottom of a ship, how it kind of has a point together on the bottom. The very bottom is pointed all the way down. You can tell that's kind of where it is. One part of it has a hatch. There's a big, large piece that's like 5 by 8 feet. You can see the middle beam underneath, and then you can see that there's a part that's a hatch. And that doesn't look like it should be that way, obviously. You've seen ships before. If you have a hole, like a hatch at the very bottom of your ship, that's a problem. That can make a sinking situation. But with that roll, definitively, you can understand that this is the hull of a ship, the very bottom. And there is a very definitive, basement hatch.
Can I tell if it what direction it would open up from? Does it open up from like what would be relatively inside the ship, or does it open up from outside the ship?
If you were inside the ship, they would pull open this way.
Open. Okay. Okay.
With
Especially
that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
With my knowledge, like being on ships previously, that's a little strange. Just like, why would first thoughts someone would want to do this is obviously smuggling of some sort, would be first guess. But that's still a very odd choice. So I'll kind of keep a keynote of that in the back of my head.
Okay. With that roll, you also notice something else. You are not the only person down here. There is someone else swimming. Not doing any kind of attempt to hide themselves. In fact, they look like they're coming to specifically talk to you. And it is an Athamaru, the mostly fish-type people. This is a male individual who is wearing decently good, armor. Is pretty much all blue-skinned, and looks more like features of a lionfish, but more humanoid than anything else. Like most Athamaru are more fish than humanish. But this seems to be the opposite, more humanoid than fish. There is what looks like hair on the person, a beard and top hair. it looks to have the consistency of seaweed almost, but really fine, like seagrass almost. And it's a very bright red, as you can tell.
Okay.
And there is a very large axe on their back. So they're sinking pretty hard. They're trying their best to like fight against the sinking with their swimming ability, but they're not. It's not great.
Yeah.
But they get down to your level, and it's someone you've actually probably seen around town a time or two. You've been here for 5 months. This is a person who lives in town and just kind of. How do I best describe them? They're not part of the town guard of any way,
Okay.
but they do what they can to be a help to most people.
Okay.
And he seems to recognize you as well. I can't imagine. You can say if you want, I will give you this. If you want to, maybe have like if you want to know their name, I would imagine that makes sense with how long you've been here. But if you don't want to, I also can imagine that you notice each other but never talked. It's up to you.
I'd say I maybe would have had a small interest in just keeping a small tab on them, so probably like just a brief name, like their first name
Yeah.
or something.
First name
Whatever
basis.
name they mainly go by. Yeah.
So this is an individual that lives relatively close to the Trident's Catch. A man by the name of Andrus.
Okay.
And when he comes down to you, he says, "I've seen you in town before. Are you helping search underwater for any survivors? Not many of us in town can."
Survivors and cause.
I don't imagine, actually, now that I think about it, we'd find many survivors, but at least we could return bodies to those who deserve to have them, and at least give them grace by the grace of Gaios.
One thing I do halfway through me saying like survivors, and then when I say cause, I switch to thalassic, which is
Okay.
Ogwyn speak. I want to see if he speaks Ogwyn.
Okay, he notices your change, and he does it as well. And he switches to it. He says, "If this is your more comfortable tongue, I will continue this way with you."
Just curious. Have you seen anything out of the ordinary? I've noticed one thing, but I haven't been here long.
Well, there are many things out of the ordinary in this place.
Well, that's
And
true.
this situation is out of the ordinary. But what have you noticed?
Supposed ship of cause with out of ordinary sort of modifications to hull.
Like what?
Extra set of doors or access point, really.
You're probably relatively still close to it. Do you point it out to him?
Yeah, I kind of just like gesture down to it. I don't really take my eyes off of him.
Okay. So he swims. He lets himself drop down further and kind of inspects it. And he says, "This is most curious. This makes no sense. Why would you put a hole in the bottom of the ship?"
That was a thought.
And he says, "This may spark alarm." And he starts looking around, and he switches to common. He gets up to you and says quietly, "Can we move this up on top? Can you help me? We must move this out before they see."
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Sadly, I don't have much in the way of bells, but I can see what I can do.
Or I just need help carrying it up. Once we get to land, I
Yeah.
need someone to hold it aloft while I pull it up on shore, if you can do that.
Sure, I'll do what I can.
Okay. With his help, no roll required. You guys can
Okay.
grab it and start swimming upward with it. He gets to a part of land where he gets up on shore and holds his arms out to you to try to see if you can lift it up slight enough for him to pull.
Yeah.
And he pulls it up on shore. And he says from shore, "Are you going to continue looking down underwater?"
I might for another few minutes, but I feel like there isn't going to be much left.
He says, "This thing you have found is a significant find. If they see it, it could cause alarm. As you know, they
Yeah.
watch."
Yeah, that's kind of why I was waiting to see if they would show up.
They are here. I don't see any immediately nearby. I assume they're checking the ships that are leaving.
That's why I figured. Okay, I'll keep an eye out. I'll let you know if I see anything else.
Alright, I will keep this to us and let you deal with it. You are the one who found it, so should you wish to report it to anyone, do so. I will see what help I can give with those who might need some healing. And he says, if you ever need help, please call on me. And then, unless you have any further comment, he starts to walk away.
Okay. And Thalassic, I just say, be well.
And he
And then
responds.
dive back under. I really don't spend much time searching the hole because I feel like I've found mainly what I'm going to find. I'm more so keeping an eye out for them.
Okay. What I'll give you is eventually you do see a dozen in and out throughout the area, checking. Just kind of scoping the scene.
Okay.
And here and there you see one or two of them dart away to be replaced by someone else.
Okay. I mostly wanted to keep a small eye on their movements to see what they did. But after a few minutes, I don't want to be really approached or really acknowledged by them, so I start heading back to shore.
Okay. And throughout the time, they do not seem to pay much attention. It seems that you can notice them, but they're off a ways. Looking at other ships and other areas, they seem to be just out of view from paying attention to you, so you actually get the safe notion that none of them notice you, but you notice them. And then back up on land. Anything you'd like to accomplish on land?
Come out, cast my draw moisture off myself, dry off a little bit off the clothing. Just not directly off my skin because I kind of use that as a bath halfway as well for my moisture. Gotta keep my skin nice and fresh.
Absolutely.
Put my jacket on, pick up my books, and then go head back and see if I can find the other lovely folks that I met earlier in the day, see how they're faring. Hopefully they're still alive for the most part.
Absolutely. Quite easily, you can, there's still people milling about, and so you can find one or two random people that you had already talked to. Percy, the captain, or John, the harbor master's assistant. And they end up directing you and say, yes, we saw them going into the harbor master's office.
Okay.
They'll say, to our knowledge, they are still there.
So when I find that out, I just like, I'm like, oh, of course it's okay. I will head towards the harbor master's office and kind of look at the building first, and then okay, step inside. And do I hear Kaya kind of still going through things?
Absolutely.
Still.
And I would say at this point you can see. So I'll give a refresher of the room you guys are in, the building. When you first enter the main door, there is an entryway that has a door on either side. From your vantage point, the door to the right leads into the harbor master's main office, and you can actually see Kaya rooting through stuff in there. To the left,
when I
is...
see that chaos, when I see that chaos of Kaya going through everything, I almost lose a bit of color as just like an oh god. I'm like, it's not her place, it's not her place, it's not her place, it's not her place. You find anything, Kaya? Or,
I imagine I'm like, I've put everything on the floor, so you just see me. Huh? Yeah. What? Oh.
You okay?
I'm looking for something.
I
wait.
can see that.
Yeah. We're just looking for some evidence on things.
Evidence on what? The explosion?
Yes, and other things. She's in some shady shit.
The harbor
And
master.
apparently she steals wine a lot. No judgment.
Well, someone who's seen this job firsthand, I can kind of relate. Did you find anything for the explosion, or?
Well, potentially a place to store things. Right, Orion?
You just see Orion just come out of his side. It's like, yeah, let's just say we found a couple things that don't really add up. And so far, it doesn't look good.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Well, any knowledge, I guess, is good to know.
During this,
Oh.
Zombie, you're outside talking to people about the election thing. Very easily, at some point, would be able to notice Toa making his way towards the office. If you wanted to join, you could, but you know that's where all three of them are now at this point, because you know that. Sorry, I think I cut you off, Abby.
I was just gonna say, Kaya's frantically scribbling because now she has the two pieces, correct? She has the numbers and she has the letters, so she's trying to figure out what this could mean. And she had wine. Orion, you said that the wine racks were numbered, right?
Orion?
Otto kind of looks around like, who's Orion?
Oh, right.
I thought you short-circuited for a second.
You always keep on mixing up people's names every time you go into this whole conspiracy bender, honestly.
Toa,
You're right,
absolutely
you're right,
noticed
you're
that,
right.
by the way.
Oh,
Oh yeah, no, I clocked it and have chosen to not say anything at this moment of time.
You're,
and
Because I
it's
feel
like
like that
every
is a low priority for me.
Otto is
Otto.
just like looking at right now Toa's face, just like, can I get like a read or are you all right?
I'm good. You do notice he is a little bit damp, looking. Kind of oddly, like his clothes seem dry, but the rest of the body does not seem as much dry. I'm fine. I did find something interesting. It seems like the ship might be used for some things not common with ships normally. Um, Found some sort of entry exits way in the whole of the ship. That was supposedly the cause of this lovely day. So I have that. If you want to take a look.
Yes, but I think might need to talk to Calvin and see if he's okay outside. If you found anything, I'm just gonna leave you two up here in case. Or actually, yeah, I'm just gonna go outside. Otto walks to the door awkwardly as he leaves those two in the room, and just like and he's just thinking to his mind, Kaya, why are you going to do this to me?
Alright, outside, it doesn't take you long. You can find Zavi / Calvin waltzing around, talking to random folks who are helping with the effort of cleanup. Easily doable.
All right, I'm gonna call out Calvin and tell him to come up to me.
Do you do the opposite, where you're like, who the fuck is Calvin?
No, I I glance for a second. And I'm like, oh wait, and I start walking out.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, you guys came up with them.
Yeah,
All right.
funny
Like,
enough,
who is- kind of like one of
Above-
those. Who is he? Oh, that's right, that's me.
above table, the person that decided to come up with fake names already fucked it up.
Or did I just intentionally fuck it up?
Oh.
No, that was for real. I fucked it up.
The best part is like we showed up to a new town. It's like, here's your new identity. Read over it and make sure you don't forget it. And what do we immediately do? Forget everything.
Witness protection guy's like, well, shit, we gotta start all over again.
Okay, next town.
Now
Set
put
this
us
one on
in
fire.
Put us in Beverly Hills next. All right, but back to the game. I go up to Calvin and say, I think I kind of whisper this over to him, make sure no one's listening. I think Kaya kind of fucked it up.
Was there anyone else in there with you?
Yeah, definitely. Toe was like right in earshot. I was looking at her, her and me as she's just said my name out there.
Well, we've kind of got him already involved, so I mean, he was gonna find out eventually. This is just a little sneak preview.
At this time, you probably see Toa leaving the quarters master's office, and he's just like, just murmuring to himself. Just like he is quickly, seemingly exiting. He seems like he does not want to be in that building for any longer than he wants to be.
Zavi notices that and is
Come
going.
here. Toa, we gotta go down the basement. There's something down here. Come on.
That's not shady or anything. Hey, I called this guy with the wrong name. Come to the basement with me.
Do we
You guys
hear
go to
her? Do we hear her yelling this at Toa?
You guys
Do
go
they,
to the
Kaya?
basement, and the next thing you know, we just show up. It's like, wait a second. Oh god.
I mean,
Do you think you'd
I'm
yell
not
that loud
trying-
enough for everyone to hear?
I don't know how far away they are.
Um,
I'm not like
So from
screaming
the
at
office
the top of my lungs. If he's
I'd say they're
leaving-
probably like 30 yards from the. It's like 90 feet.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how good their hearing is. They're not like,
Prob-
get back here.
yeah, probably not. With everything else going on, they probably don't hear that.
Okay, well, sure, I guess. You found something in the basement?
Well, there's a secret
Let's
tunnel
see.
down here. I don't want to get ambushed by myself. Come on. But that's not the other thing. I think there's something else down here, hidden in the wine racks.
Me and Calvin are probably just like coming up to this and just see a panicked Toa, like uncomfortable Toa being hurried by a gnome that is clearly look like she's on something, trying to get this person to a basement.
And I just see Zavi or Calvin standing there just watching this happen, and just leans on his cane a little bit, like, let's see how this plays out.
So,
Okay.
Toa comes out looking very frazzled, uncomfortable, sits for a few seconds, then turns around and walks right back in. After Zavi has been told that Kaya let loose your guys' names. So, how do Orion and Zavi view that situation?
Well, we either... Also, just one thing. Kaya saying, I don't want to get ambushed, but the way that you said it seems like, hey, I'll let you get ambushed. I want to go down there anyway.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't want to be ambushed by myself.
You're just making it look worse.
We'll get ambushed, but you'll be in front of me.
I didn't say that. I don't want to get ambushed by myself.
It's all about perspective, and your perspective right now is pretty bad from Toa's scene.
Seeing Toa go back in, I will go in as well, seeing that there is something more that needs to be done in there, and,
Okay, so...
also trying to talk Toa into staying if I need to.
I'm gonna follow suit with Calvin and just whisper to just repeat to myself under my breath. Please don't let there be a murder. Please don't let there be a murder. Please don't let there be a murder.
Hey,
You're murdering
so-
somebody. I'm
If
gonna
there's
murder
no, if there's no intent, then we can just get away with manslaughter. Don't worry.
So, you guys make your way over to the Harbor Master's office and go inside. All four of you, for the first time in the last couple of hours since this disaster started, are now together. On the first floor. So, what are you guys gonna do?
Kai's already going down in the basement.
I
Come on.
I just look at her. I don't even call her a name. I just go, "What is going on? What? Wait, where are you going? Where? Get back here!"
No.
I say, "Get back
I am-
here!" as I'm chasing you down the stairs.
I am one track mind. This is what I'm focused on right now. I am just down. I told someone, don't make me go down the basement by myself. I'm assuming I hear footsteps coming. I'm already going down there. Someone will
Anna.
follow me, hopefully.
Otto, where'd you put a medicine? Come on.
Make me seem like
Alright.
a crazy thing.
No,
You're the one that did it.
you said one track mind. I'm doing this. It's one of those ADHD. This is what I'm doing. Everything else is ignored.
Right
Hey,
now,
I know
Otto
that.
is
I know
just.
ADHD.
Right now, Otto's just by the door, looking at Toa and just seeing what he's gonna do. I'm just like, okay.
I'll follow you, Otto.
All right,
No
yeah.
offense, but I think I do best from behind the front line. So after you.
Oh, well, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
I'll go right before you, just showing that it's okay and it's safe down there. And yeah, let's do it. And I know you got my back and you're not going to shoot me. And we're all good.
Nope, I have no reason to.
Yep, perfect.
So, that emotion you just talked about, the follow me to the basement, it's okay, we're safe, we're friends, I'll protect you. What does that face look like? What's the emotion that you're pulling out?
It
Is it
is
a
like,
come on,
all right,
follow
so
me down here?
We're all safe
It's
down
all
here.
safe. It's
oh my, all right, from 100% scale, 20% is just like, anxious because now I know someone screwed it up. 40% is like, oh fuck, do I gotta pull out my sword right now? What's about to happen? And 30%
What's that?
James immediately sold me out. And right now, the last 10% is I probably feel like I wanted to steal one of those wine bottles so I can just forget this night.
Okay.
Like the last
So-
10 minutes at best.
So,
Take a wine
Kaya
bottle, leave an
goes
IOU.
down. Kaya goes down to the basement. Then Orion, you go. Then Toa, then Zombie. Is that the order you guys go down?
No. As
Toa's-
Kaya
or
was
Zombie
going,
after Kaya.
I'm like, "Hey, get back here. No, I'm back here.
Okay. Toa goes last. And then just slams the door shut on you three and says, I'm fucking out of here.
No, I'm more curious than anything. I feel there's a bit of confidence to Toa that he's not super concerned about being murdered down here. One, he knows that these are new people, and if I get murdered, they will probably be top of the list.
Hey, that's how it happened
Two-
last time.
Blake is making a new character very quickly because Noah doesn't trust any of us anymore.
Two, I have the knowledge in the back of my head that there are people who would come after any murderers of mine to begin with. So, which I know they are unaware of that I have.
I
let's
got
say,
friends on the other side.
friend, well, more so friends in certain places. Or
The chef that you were kicked out of her kitchen, she's one of them.
Oh no.
She's really a level 18 adventurer. We just don't know.
Alright. So, all four of you are now down in the basement. What's going on? What are you guys doing?
Kaya's counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm following the pattern of the code to try and find whatever it leads me to.
Okay.
What's the
so you're
light
doing,
level in this room?
all the sconces, there's one in each corner. And then a central, like, not a chandelier, but like a hanging, gas lamp set in here. The total height of the floor is about 10 feet. It's actually relatively tall for a basement. And then there's a couple of candles lit here and there, just on certain surfaces, so it's relatively decently lit for a basement.
Okay. What? So, what are we looking at? Or, I see a wine rack.
Think she has a code that she's trying to crack?
Actually, Toa,
Okay.
Calvin, if you guys follow me, let me show you the little entrance I found.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So I show them the entrance.
Okay. You find that crate, that stack of crates you found before, flip it up, and for the two of you, you can now see that the crate is empty, but it connects to the crate below it, which is also empty, which connects to that crate, which is also empty, and then it just keeps going further underground. And you find iron rungs, like ladder rungs, into this piece as well, going all the way down. And you get a very big waft of damps, like seawater and how do I pronounce that? Like cave/seawater mixed together.
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah,
dark.
Nope.
yeah. Something's going on. I look over to Abby's characters. I tell her, "Are you okay over there? You sure you don't
Yes,
want to?"
so while they are doing that, you've been going through, was it the 18 left, 7
Yes.
down, 10 right, 4 up, 2 left, 5 down, 17 to the right. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Following this system, are you starting from the rightmost bottle on the top, a couple rows down? Where are you starting this from?
Well, so I'm assuming that I can't start it on the side that starts with 1 because there wouldn't be any left movement. So I'm starting it on the opposite end, the very end.
Okay. So following that set of patterns and going down and mixing your way through all the bottles and everything, you eventually come to it lands on a sealed bottle of wine that's still on it's on the rack, and you can see it is a very bright crimson red wine, and the bottle is quite interestingly designed. Have you ever seen the old Coke bottle from like the 1920s or 30s, where it gets like skinny at the bottom, then widens out, and then skinnies again? It's like that. It's got a green and gold label on it, and if you pull it out, you can see what it says. But from where it's standing, you can't see the exact words.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it out and I'm just gonna set it there and then I'm gonna reach in to where it was.
Okay. So
Fighter.
you reach back and you imagine you'd end up feeling like brick or not brick but stone or wall eventually, that you don't, and you keep going until your arm is all the way extended and you still feel there's space beyond it because you don't have very long arms.
Someone with longer arms, come over here, please. This isn't right. You need to reach in here, please. Somebody.
I kind of just look at Toa and Orion. I'm looking at Orion. Probably can't get his arm in there. It's probably bigger. Trying to see like who has
I
a
just
smaller
walk
arm.
over and grab it. I just walk
Ah.
over.
Okay. So you stick your arm through, and the gaps of this, of the different sections of the wine rack are pretty big. They're, about that big of a gap. So you can get your arm all the way through easily. And you
Does my
reach
arm
in.
like go all the way like in?
Yeah.
Like and I'm like when I get like almost halfway in, all of a sudden I go as
And then you go
like
further in,
just
you're like, what the hell is
just
this?
start
It's
yelling.
weird. No,
Whoa.
nothing grabs you or anything.
No, but that's why I'm gonna try and employ with these three, because I'm
Gotcha.
just gonna like scream.
I
It's
I
like, oh,
I will scream because he is nervous about what's everything's going on. Oh,
And I just kind of look, I'm like, oh shit. This is why you have the new guy do things like this.
I mean, and I just pull my arm out. Gotcha.
Okay.
Mm.
While you had your arm in, once you get to a part where you don't have it all the way extended, but like
Yeah.
maybe 85% of the way back, you end up feeling something. You feel, you'd be familiar with this, it's a book. You feel a book way in the back of this.
Okay.
When you pull your arm out, do you grab it and pull it out?
Yes.
Okay. So when you pull it out, it is it's a leather-bound book, and it does not have any kind of signifying on the front or back or spine. It's just plain. And
Okay.
it's roughly this thick, like of a standard notebook,
Gotcha.
and actually roughly about this size too in your hand.
First thing I do is I just do detect magic.
Okay. No auras of any kind come up. Just a
Okay,
regular
then
old
I
book.
open the book. That's
Okay.
I open the book.
The very first thing you see in it is an entry. This is a journal.
Oh.
And because I am not at a physical table to hand you guys copies of it, I shared a document with all of you guys that has the exact book you found. And, it is quite an interesting read. But you should all have a copy of it so you can all read. Now, for viewers, I'm sure that the lovely folks watching might be curious to know what this thing is. So, I'm gonna take a little vote here. Should we have some folks maybe volunteer to read it? Or should I do a pause here and like pop the pages up one by one for folks to read on their own?
I'd say pause it and let them read at their own pace, because there's quite a bit.
Mhm.
Alright, so
Yeah.
we're gonna take a quick break while they all read this, and I will put these pages up as a little scroll for people to read, and so that way you can all see it, and then hopefully by the time you're done, we'll all be back.
5077, Bali the Second. I'm starting this journal now because my life might change in a major way soon, and I need to document everything. I want to be able to look back and read about these major events when I'm older, or when I have kids or grandkids, so that I can share my life story. Who knows? Maybe I'll write a book about my life, if things go well. The election is coming up. My nerves are shot. This has been a crazy ride. Getting the position as manor stewardess and deputy city lady was big enough. But to think I may be the actual city lady is beyond anything I thought possible. I know the people of Hookhandle like me and respect me. Hopefully, enough to lead them. And I know this is a fair election, so I may lose. And that's okay. Dorian is a good man at heart. He may be pompous at times, but he always apologizes when called out. I just hope things don't become weird, no matter what the outcome is. 5077, Fall Leaf the 12th. It's election day. I'm so nervous. But Dorian looks nervous too. I've never seen him nervous. Even if he was losing, I know that he would take the loss gracefully. So why does he look nervous? Maybe he actually cares more about the outcome than I thought. I imagine we probably won't know the outcome until tomorrow or the day after, but I wish it was faster. This has been a fun ride, but it has also been stressful. It'll be nice when the outcome is announced, to be able to relax and go back to peaceful days. 5077, Fall Leaf the 15th. I lost badly. I didn't get a single vote. Not one. How is that possible? That can't be right. I voted for myself. That should be at least one. 5077, Fall Leaf the 20th. Despite my protest, the results are going to stand. Apparently, it doesn't matter that I spoke to people who said they voted for me. And so now I have witnesses. Supposedly, when the prefect spoke to the people who told me they voted for me, they said they lied to me to protect my feelings. Protect my feelings? Are they mad? And now, because of my raving, as Dorian calls it, I've lost my position as stewardess and as deputy city leader. They demoted me to harbor master, since the last person decided city life was no good for them. I know why they did it. They wanted to get me out of the way. They wanted me to do some menial job and keep me so busy that I can't investigate this further or talk about it. I will find out the truth, though. 5077, Harvesty Ag the 6th. This job has been the worst thing to ever happen to me. I'm always cold. I get wet all the time. The salt is destroying my skin and my hair, and I have no free time. Absolutely none. I was moved out of my apartment in the manor to a small apartment in the harbor master's office so that I can be available anytime. And they meant any time. I get woken up almost any time a ship comes in. I told them I need someone else to help. Someone to do the night shift, or even someone to do the day shift while I do the night shift. But no, they don't want to do that. Dorian doesn't even talk to me directly anymore. His new steward does for him. That quiet little Vanara never lets me anywhere near Dorian. I don't understand why they are doing this to me. 5078, Dead Off the Night. My investigations into the election have hit a dead end. I've tried talking to anyone who comes close to the docks, and no one will admit to having voted for me. People are even becoming mad at me, telling me to just let it go. I don't get it. Why has everyone just completely turned on me? What did I do to anyone? I thought everyone liked me. I can feel myself starting to slip. The person inside starting to disappear. I know this is what they want, though. They want me to suffer, to resign myself to this life and just live my days down here by the cold, wet docks. 5078, Quad Off the 18th. Today has been the worst I've felt. While walking the docks, I looked down into the waves and found myself thinking, I just jumped into the surf. I'd be taken away, and the pain this town would be rid of me like they want. Maybe that would be for the best. Maybe. 5078 Temperin Ag first. This year is coming to an end. I haven't written in a while. I haven't really wanted to. I don't know what has kept me going this long. I still think about jumping into the surf and letting it take me. But for some reason, I never come close to doing it. Is it stubbornness? Denial about how shitty I am? Or how shitty the world is? The one time in all these months a citizen spoke to me. They suggested I could just leave town. Just leave. As if it was that easy. When I was demoted. Sorry, I mean transferred. They docked my pay badly. I earned just enough to eat. Sometimes not even enough for that. I want to leave, I really do. But the hell I'm stuck in is preventing me. 5079, Hot Hand the 15th. I almost threw this book away. Why keep writing if I have nothing but despair? But something happened today. Something amazing. I saw something that I can't explain, but whatever it was caused something different in me. As I sat on the dock, staring to the sea and wishing for the courage to jump, something finally clicked, and I found what I needed, and I jumped. The water was actually pretty warm at first, but got cold the deeper I sank. I held my breath at first, not sure why. Maybe some sort of inner survival instinct. I quickly ran out of breath, though. All at once, the water filled my lungs. My body tried coughing, but that just brought more water in. But I didn't thrash. I didn't fight. I wanted it. As I sank, my vision started to darken and I felt warm again, like I was at peace. But the warmth started increasing, slow at first, but it quickly became hot. Hot like fire hot. But it didn't hurt. It got so hot that the water around me began evaporating, and suddenly I had this bubble, this pocket of air around me, and somehow I could breathe. I was able to swim to the surface by basically flailing my arms and legs around. I got myself to a beach near the city. I had drifted a good deal south. Once on dry land, my body and clothes started to steam, and suddenly I was completely dry. As I let my mind wander with what this could all mean, that's when I saw it. Some sort of vision happened, like a memory or something. I was flying through the air above a large forest, feeling the wind against my skin, a hot sensation in my chest, strong, powerful limbs, something on my back, two things, wings, and a tail guiding my direction. I was dragon, bright red scales all over and everything. I flew down near the ground and the hot sensation started boiling upwards, almost like indigestion, and right when it hit my mouth and I thought I would throw up, the feeling turned into something of power and energy. Flames shot from my mouth and ignited the force below. Suddenly I shot back into my own body and looked around me. The bushes on the edge of the beach were scorched. And then I looked down and realized my hands were on fire. And then something else clicked in my mind. This primal surge of instinct and confidence. I somehow knew exactly what I could do. I wandered back to town sometime around dusk. No one even knew I was gone. No one cared. But I didn't care in that moment. I had power and a purpose. Use my power to get what I needed to. Leave this wretched shithole and never see any of them again. 29, hot in the 20th. I've used any amount of free time I could find to practice these new abilities, finding any and all new spells I could apply. I want to take it easy though. I know of the Society of the Unseen Sun. They like having a registry of mages. I do not want to be on that registry. I need my magic abilities to remain anonymous for plausible deniability. I still don't know how I'm going to use these abilities to make more money though. Something else really interesting happened today. A ship came to dock that I've never seen before. When I walked over to check their manifest, they asked for William Redstone, the harbor master before me. When I said that he was gone and that I was in charge, they looked uncomfortable. It actually looked like they were going to pack up and leave. But then the captain, Sven Vega, changed his mind. He looked me up and down and said, "They pay you shit, don't they?" Or something like that. How do you notice that just by looking at me? I didn't answer. He said my silence was enough of an answer, and then asked if I wanted to be a part of the deal of a lifetime. I asked what he meant, and he told me he wanted me to lie about the manifest and approve the one he gave me without checking it. He would pay me 200 gold. 200. I didn't want to trust him at first, but then he assured me that there was nothing dangerous on the ship. He just didn't want to pay the docking and unloading fee because this town was a town of cheaters and thieves who took advantage of sailors by charging too much, just in the name of lining their pockets. And you know what? He's right. Our fees are outrageous, and this town sucks. He even had me board the ship, just to check. He was right. The cargo was just a bunch of old broken armor, random metal trash, and gems. The manifest he had handed me just said textiles and minerals. His docking fee should have been 500 gold, but if I approved the manifest, the docking fee would only be 100 gold. But the fees also provide unloading and storage of the cargo. Someone would have to see everything when it was unloaded. But then he showed me something I can still barely comprehend. In the storage bay of the ship, there was what looked like a hatch, right up against where the ship would be underwater. And then, before I could react, he opened it. I expected water to flood in, but it didn't. It opened to a tunnel. He told me that this tunnel had been constructed decades ago, earlier, and they used it to bypass the docks. It all became clear. He was a part of a smuggler's ring. He wanted me to let them do it by paying me off. And I'm totally okay with it. This town treated me like garbage. They deserve what little damage I can do to them. This isn't really hurting anyone. I don't see the harm they could bring. It's just stuff. 5080, dead off the third. The last months have brought a good bit of gold to me. Sven has been through at least once or twice a month, and I always get paid handsomely. I learned a bit more about the operation. There is someone else in town who is part of this, Jacques Devada, and I never would have guessed he was in on this. I also learned that the tunnels lead to his place. They have a secondary exit that leads to my office. I thought I felt a draft from under my bed, but I never checked. This is more sophisticated than I thought. 5080, Larsa, the 8th. I thought I had a problem today. I was practicing my magic when I was spotted. Jacques saw me. He said he never knew I was a mage. I told him it was a relatively recent development. He told me he wouldn't rat me out. He even told me that there could potentially be something we could do to make more money. He said if I took some of the mundane weapons, armor, jewelry, or whatever, and tried enchanting it, we could sell them as low-cost magic items and make a fortune. It seemed enticing, but I don't know how to put my magic into stuff. Boy, I'm only only just learning how to use it. I'm going to have to practice. We pitched the idea to Sven and said he would sell it for us if he got a cut, which was an easy yes to give. 50-80, bit off the 17. I finally figured out how to enchant things. They aren't super strong, but they are functional. Well, mostly functional. Sometimes the magic stops, and in one instance, a ring exploded. But I think I did good. 50-80, Harvesti Agni 19. The year is almost over, and I'm happy. This has been an amazing year. I almost have enough money to skip this town, but I don't know if I want to. This is a pretty lucrative system. The only problem is I can't spend my money as easily as I would like to. I can't be suspiciously rich all of a sudden, so I still live in squalor. This may not have been the best idea. 50-81, Larson the First. I finally told Sven that I was planning on leaving town at some point. That I like what we had going, but I needed to lead a different life. But that was a huge mistake. Sven's brother, Anton, was in town, and he didn't take kindly to me saying I was going to leave his brother hanging. Anton is a scary guy, and his reputation suits him. He is the leader of the Silverblades, murderers and worse. The way him and Sven saw it was if I wasn't with them, I was against them. Sven had gotten used to the extra money from the magic items. They threatened to do all manner of things I won't even write down, even with magic backing me up. I didn't feel like I was any kind of match to them. I'm just stuck in this town forever. 50-81, Fall Leaf the 14th. Sven's brother was killed recently. Some bounty hunter named Daiki Aido took him out. I can't believe it. The Silverblades have dispersed and disbanded. Sven isn't taking it well, though. He keeps flying off the handle and screaming at everyone, even me. Jacques told him that he needed to leave town. This was all getting too much for him. He had a kid on the way. He didn't want his child's life being all crime. Sven didn't say anything. He just killed him. Right in front of me, in the tunnels. Now I know. I can never leave. No amount of magic is going to protect me from this guy's rage. 50-82, dead off the 10th. Sven is getting worse and worse. And now I am scared every time I see a ship. I have to think of something to get myself out of this mess. On top of that, Dorian is asking around about Jacques, since the new guy who bought the inn is an idiot. Sven got this guy named Kristoff, a smuggler that he has worked with for a while, to take over the inn because they needed someone to run the inn who they could ensure would keep the smuggler's tunnel working and wouldn't rat anyone out. But he is being way too shifty about everything. Instead of making some story up about how he came to town to buy the inn, he just flat out refuses to answer anyone. Idiot. 50-82, Quadrocky. This is getting too much for me. Sven is pushing me harder and harder to make these stupid magic items to sell, and the quality is definitely starting to show. The mishaps are more frequent with recent creations. Something is going to go wrong one day. I just know it. And that is a good thing. This is my way out of here and to get rid of Sven. I'm working on an enchantment that is delayed, and it will explode at the right moment. Once the goods are loaded onto a ship, it'll blow. It should ignite the other items and make quite the explosion. We should take Sven and his crew out, take their ship out, and as an added bonus, it should do some serious damage to the shithole of a city. 50-82, Harvesti II. I perfected the delayed explosion enchantment. Once it is loaded on Sven's ship, my plan will come to fruition, and then I can get out of here. I'm going to do it tomorrow, since the platinum sail be in the port.
And we're back. All of the players have got a chance to read the journal, and you all should have gotten a chance to listen to it too. Because instead of just putting it there for you to read, I'm going to edit in, after this video is done, an overlay of someone reading it to you. So, you guys have gone through this journal, I'm guessing one person at a time reading it and passing it around as you guys find it. What do you have to say about it?
Well, looks like she definitely needs to go to jail. I'm going to say that off the bat. She's kind of failed her job as a harbor master. Quite literally.
Yeah.
So there's that. Well, we know what happened to the harbor to begin with. That's good.
I think somebody else is also partially at fault for this happening in an indirect
for
way.
sure.
I do believe she needs to atone for her crimes, but behind a jail cell, I don't think it will fully help her. If anything, she kind of seems much more damaged considering what's happened to her.
Well,
Oh,
yes.
she was crazy. And then just put in a place and not given any help. She was forced to work 24/7. Well, 24/5.
And considering
That's time in this world. It's 5-day
Yeah, that's
week.
true. 5-day week.
Considering, yes, Gwenna, you are right about that. She was forced to work a job that she was never truly accustomed to. She was forced here to work unregistered times and hours. And considering what she did due to her mental health at the time, doesn't sound like she got support from most people. And it seems like people took advantage of her at the time.
Seems like a lot of people need their comeuppance in this town.
I feel like she has to answer for what she's done and try and get an understanding that there are other people here that do believe that she was cheated out of this, and try to gain some trust back for her so that way she doesn't do anything else extreme like she has done. But she definitely needs to atone for this, as well as the people that put her in this position in the first place.
Gwenna, you said, did you meet this lady? Was she the one that you met over at the burn center?
Eh, yes, I did. So Toa, there's some things that I feel you need to know about.
Whatever are you talking about, Gwenna?
No. Don't call me that. Don't call me that.
Well, what?
Don't call me that.
I look up there to make sure the hatch is actually closed.
Sure.
Why-
I can imagine one of you guys close it behind you.
I'm gonna close the hatch.
Or Toa, actually, it's up to you. Toa, did you close the hatch?
Oh no. No.
I'm gonna
Escape
go.
room.
I'm gonna go and close the hatch.
There's a reason why I asked about the lights too.
Okay. Orion goes and closes the gate, and now you're locked in there with them.
Now there's
Are you
things that
looking
you
at
must
it?
know.
Bad. Don't make it sound bad. Stop.
You are joining a secret society, whether you like it or not.
As far as I know, I'm the only one who can breathe underwater. And as far as I'm concerned, we're underneath the ocean level.
Partially, yeah.
You have been very honest with us. We should be very honest with you. And you should
Okay.
know who you're getting involved with before we get embroiled in this further. Because apparently there's a lot of shit going on in this town, like every town we go to.
Are you not
So,
circus people?
We are.
we are, yes.
Okay.
My name is Kaya Visbagen, and I'm gonna pull out the paper and say, that might sound familiar to you if you read any of the information across our what's it?
Kind of seems like she's panicking.
No, I can't think of the word.
Public.
Republic, thank you. My name is Kaya. This is Orion.
Oh,
and
whoa.
This is, and this is Zavi.
I.
Okay. Well, pleasure, I guess.
So,
The headlines are false.
a while ago, if you aren't familiar with the story, a while ago, we were in a town in Ichinacha, and, we were helping out the harbor master, and apparently, one of these enchanted items found its way to a child, and he got curse-bloated and
And
died.
it left off the same symbols that you have been trying to record.
Oh,
The circus we were working with, the ringmaster was working with, presumably, Sven Vega. Well, definitely this Sven Vega guy. And decided that we were good people to pin it on. So we fled instead of getting arrested.
okay.
But
Right.
we overheard that this was where the supply came from. Obviously, now we know it came from the harbor master.
We also
Right,
helped out
so-
another town. We helped them recover from possibly a serious drought, so.
And vandalism of the monument. We're good people, but we are in a very shitty situation.
It seems like it seems like everywhere you go, things explode, which is a little bit concerning. But
No, things did not explode in
Soriko
Soriko.
in Sayota.
Well,
so 2 out of the 3 have exploded so far, is what you're
And the
saying,
ship
correct?
that we were, oh well, technically the ship we came on is sunk now, but that didn't explode. That just caught on fire.
and
So
yeah, that was just. It just happened to be in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
So technically, 2 out of the 5 places we've been have curse bloated.
See, much lower ratio.
Better odds.
Yes.
But this seems like we can finally hopefully clear our name as long as we can get Megara to put forth some
Dude.
evidence that we weren't involved.
Okay. Well, thank you for being honest with me. Hopefully, this is the last of explosions that revolve around the areas you are.
I hope so.
I will gladly help you with your clearing your name, because that is the right thing to do, as my father would put it. And definitely want people to pay, because if we don't, my mother would be very upset with me for letting us harbor master do what she's done, and I don't want that, and you don't want that either. Trust me, you don't want that.
So, that sounds heavy. Right. So, What's your guys' next move?
Well, should we make sure there's nothing left in this place to go explode again? Like down that hole that Mr. Orion, I believe your name was, found?
Technically, my full name is Orion Thane, but just call me Orion. But yes, it does seem. But we might want to figure out what our next plan. Even if we explore the tunnel, what do we do then? We probably will find some evidence of smugglers, but then we also have to deal with the corrupt mayor. So we have to keep in mind about that. And it kind of sounds like his new assistant might be also involved with that. So we have to figure out who do we present this evidence if we find it, and how do we go about it? Do they
Wow.
say...
Oh, continue.
Oh, I was going to actually speak to Kaya, formerly known as Gwenna.
One,
Uh,
one quick question. Aren't we already down in the tunnel? Or did we not come down the tunnel? Or are we just in the basement?
we're in the basement.
Just in the basement, as far as I know.
I remember just
Yeah.
hearing closing the hatch and it just made me think of going down the tunnel already.
But, Kaya, do you know where this Megara was taken to? Did anyone take her anywhere? Did anyone pick her up? Were there any close associates look? Because I know there was Percy and John looking for her.
Yes, they found her and they took her over to the chapel. To the temple. I believe that's where they took her, right? Is that right? To the temple?
Yes, they took her to the temple for more advanced healing.
Did
They also have like a hospital connected with it.
Did they seem legit?
Well, yeah. I mean, they seemed concerned about her, and very happy when they had found her. And they were going with the priest, so he's good. He's a nice guy. Bird.
Well,
But so if we can't trust the people in town, since there was a disaster, the prefect would probably be coming to help out the city.
that's a good point. But right
Is
now,
possible.
So
well, we
if
had
they
to.
get here, then we can just present the evidence to them. But it might be a few days.
Which is why we must make sure we be very careful about who we talk to and what our next movements are. I'm fine with exploring this tunnel, but we have to be very careful on what our next move is.
Toa, I'm gonna give this to you. You'd probably know this. This prefecture that Hookhandle is part of is called God's Hook.
Mhm.
Hookhandle is the main city of the prefecture,
Yeah.
so there's almost a 90% chance the prefect is already in town because
Yeah,
they have a
that-
major
that's what I was
office in
thinking.
the manor.
Okay, so, well, prefect is probably already in town. There's a possibility I might be able to get an audience with him. Slight, but possible. So if we have what we feel is substantial evidence, I don't think this one journal of this individual is enough, to be honest. It is enough to involve her, but not anyone else, so to speak. So we'll have to probably acquire more evidence before we speak with them.
We need
Kaya?
to find the investigator. The investigator who wrote the letter. He said he found evidence of corruption and that it was overwhelming. But he said not for her not to worry about it. So, did the investigator sign his name on the letter that I found?
Yes, I imagine they would have. But it's more just a set of initials. And the initials that you would have are C R M.
CRM.
Please don't tell me that's the guy who's also looking for us.
Nah,
Do you just have a Rolodex of people's information?
the guy that was apparently
Who?
CRM.
was it? I thought it was Jacques Cousteau or something like that. Or
No, that's
like,
Jean Carantine.
dang it.
Mm.
But I was gonna say, we also, if this person found evidence of the corruption in town, we have to make sure we prove that the mayor also, or rather, the city lord, also committed the crime of, well, tampering with the ballots at that point, and falsifying documents.
Why is it always election fraud?
Well, that might be a little bit difficult due to time. 5 years is quite a bit of time.
Yes,
At
but
this
if there's one trace of corruption, there's always more. Especially if this investigator found overwhelming evidence. But this is just speculation at this point. I think we definitely have to go down the tunnel. Is there anything we need to discuss before we head down there?
If we find another exit, because we know that there's one in the Harbor Masters, and we know that there's another person involved, this Kristoff person, who they brought in to replace the guy that Sven's brother offed.
Yeah,
So-
Christoph runs the inn.
If we find another exit that goes up into a building, we should leave it alone, because it might tip him off that other people have found out about it, and then he'll skip town, because we need him alive too, to line up the stories.
Fair assessment. Okay.
You know,
So-
I think I'd rather go back to the desert, honestly. Just hearing all of this.
But
Sorry,
you like
Toa.
the intrigue?
There's intrigue, and there's definitely intrigue when you're hearing it from a story side, but when you're part of the story, it tends to get a little bit. Let me see, what's the word? Outright despicable.
Don't worry, Orion. One day people will sing songs about us.
Hopefully it doesn't
About
involve.
this day.
Hopefully it doesn't involve songs about fools going into a tunnel of death.
Just make sure that they don't include the fact that I got tricked in there.
Oh, no. I mean, no. We would supply the information. We'd leave out all the bad parts.
Fair.
All right. So, who wants to go into the tunnel first?
I'm gonna go over and just look down and just see how dark it is.
It's pretty dark after a certain amount of feet down.
Who's got torches
Not
on?
it.
I got a torch.
I'll go down first. I'm pretty sure I have a torch.
I got a
Are you-
torch.
Are you wearing a helmet, Orion?
Yeah.
Any sort of. Oh, you don't need the torch, and I like poke you in the top of the head where the helmet hits, and I cast light.
You just imagine you going boop.
Think.
It's like you're turning on the head torch from a miner's helmet.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go.
It's not working. Here, let me do it.
All right.
Look at you
So,
with
who's
the
going
bright
first?
idea.
Ryan, you're going first.
Yep.
All right. So you start your climb down, and again, this the smell of seawater and like the kind of that stale, stagnant cave smell that hits you here as well. And you start going down and down and down and down, and you probably go roughly about 30 feet. And then you finally touch, you get to a part where you can see that there's a landing area. And when you slap down to the bottom, the ground is moist. It's a dirt floor, and you get this nice little squish sound, and it just feels, it kind of just feels weird. With the illumination from your hat, how far does that extend?
It
20
is a
foot
20
radius,
foot
bright
radius.
light.
And it's actually just a little orb that floats above his helmet.
Okay.
That's
So it's
a
20
little,
foot
like,
bright light, and then
yeah.
dim for another 20, so 40 total. Perfect.
You can sustain the spell to move the light. Okay, that's moving. Okay, yep.
Awesome sauce. So the cavern that you were in, the small little tunnel, is just big enough to stand up. You guys are both, you and Toe are both like what, between 6'5" and 7 foot
Yeah.
in that range?
Yeah. Lower end of
So
the
it's-
spectrum, but yeah.
Okay, so it's roughly 7 feet tall. So I'm probably gonna say that not too small then. Like it's got some height to it,
Okay.
but it's pretty wide. It's probably about 8 to 10 feet wide in some sections, and you can see that it extends onward, mostly straight for the full distance that your light provides. The rest of you, are you waiting until Orion gets to the bottom to also descend? Or are you going to kind of go one after another?
I'd say one after another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Easily doable. So you guys, after a few seconds, all descend down into the bottom and see the same things Orion sees. So you are all down there. From his light, you all see the straightforward direction of the tunnel, but you can't see any further beyond that unless you move forward.
What's the floor of this place like? This cave?
It's moist dirt,
Moisture. Okay.
hard packed dirt. All right. You guys continuing onward?
Of course.
I would say
Yeah.
so.
All right. All right.
Is there
Go
any
ahead.
indication markers like on the walls or anything like that? Like
Make. Go ahead.
to show like smugglers which area is kind of which.
You can go ahead and make a perception roll.
Thank you. Yeah, I suck on that one. 3 plus 6 equals 9.
No. So you do not see anything standing out as odd or standing out as like writing or anything along the wall.
I see him looking at the walls, and I pull out a piece of chalk and I start writing on the wall.
Duh.
Harbor Master.
No, didn't you just say that we can't make it seem like anyone was down here?
No. said, we shouldn't go up, like, into any of the buildings.
Fair
But I
enough.
also
Yeah.
don't want to get lost in a tunnel. Do you?
I mean,
Good
we'll find our way
point.
out, probably no matter what. Just we might run into some people if we just randomly jump out of anywhere.
Yeah, okay then. I'm just gonna try to see as best as I can.
Okay. So you guys start your walk onward, and it stays in that wider notion, 7 feet high, 8 to 10 feet wide for the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes of you guys making your way. Before I forget, are you guys trying in any way, shape, or form to be stealthy, or are you just bolting because you got a bright ass light on your head?
I mean, if we're gonna try to be stealthy, we kind of screwed it up with the fact that there's a bright ass light on my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this point, I would say I'm probably geared up in case we run into anything down here. It's just that we gotta make sure we kill anything that sees us down here.
Right. So after a few moments of walking, the tunnel starts to narrow, to get kind of thin. And you can see that this is not really like intricately dug out. This is a rough dig out. The walls aren't completely like solid and like it's not pretty. It's not ornate. It's crude, and they're working with what they have. And when it starts to get thinner, you can see kind of the reason why. The wall was mostly dirt, hardened dirt, but in this smaller section, it's actually stone. It looks like somebody had to cut through stone to make this passageway, but they made it smaller so as not to have to do too much work. And so it gets relatively thin. And it stays that way for a good bit. So it gets to a point where you guys are gonna have to be one by one. So what's your marching order?
Me in first, because that's a given with the light.
There's one
Okay,
thing
who's
I'm
be
gonna
next?
do while we're in this tunnel as well, like walking, like getting into this like newer tunnel area.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna pull out my compass and keep an eye on what direction we're traveling from the docks.
Okay. Fair enough. So let's get this order first, and I'll let you know where you guys are at. So who's after Orion?
Be after Orion. I just want to be checking around Orion for any traps or anything.
Okay. Then who's gonna be third?
You want to be? I asked
I'll
her
go-
if he wants to be between us or in the
I'll
back.
go last. I'll go last.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now I know my order. So you guys are making your way through, and Toa, after pulling out your
Compass.
compass, orienting where you are, you can tell by direction of looking at, like if you were outside of the building, all the way up to the surface level, looking at the door of the building, you'd be facing west.
Okay.
When you get down in this tunnel all the way at the bottom, in the direction you guys are walking, based on that knowledge, you now know you are walking north.
Okay. So we're heading north.
More of actually a northeastern direction,
Okay, that makes more sense.
like getting away from the water.
Yeah.
Okay. Kaya, you want to be checking for stuff as well. Make your own perception check.
Ooh, that's a natural 20 plus 7, so 27.
Okay. Absolutely. So as you guys start making your way, something catches your eye. As you're waltzing, you see that there is a section of the floor that looks different. The dirt covering on it looks like it's a different shade. And it seems to be this little square space that's a different color. Almost indistinguishable, but because of your super high roll, you can tell the difference. And you can also see small little piles of dirt near the edges of this square. Almost like it gets disturbed if that square is stepped upon.
Okay. Whatever you do, don't step right there. And I
I
point
stop.
to it.
I stopped as soon as I was about to step on that thing. It's like, damn it. I'm like, okay, move my foot. And I kind of see the trap now. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
for that.
as you guys get over it, you guys can see on the wall now that there are small little holes in a few spots where it looks like something would out at you.
That would hurt the lungs.
I kind of don't want to be filleted like a fish, so thank you for that.
Oh no,
Alright,
you'd
I
be.
saved your life, so you owe me 1 uppy.
What?
To be used at my discretion.
What? I didn't
It
realize
does
we
just
were.
save you from being Swiss cheese.
No, don't give her. Just trust me. She's gonna be keeping score now at this point.
Probably.
I am. I'm writing it down.
Probably. Okay. So, you guys keep going after a few minutes, and eventually you come to an intersection where you can go left or right. Left would lead you more towards the water, like the ocean itself, and right would lead you more like into town. Once you get to this intersection, this will be freely given to you. It smells more like seawater here, coming from the left direction.
Makes sense.
And you do, because you have some light on you, you do see a sign on the wall, a very crudely written wooden sign with just some paint on it that has three separate listings on it. One has an arrow pointing left, and it's on the wall directly across from where you guys come to this intersection, pointing left, and it says hatch.
Say that again.
The one point hatch, Hatch.
Oh, hatch.
Pointing leftward. When you look right, it says hideout. And then there's an arrow pointing like up. But it looks like it's been. When you look at it, you can see that like it was down and then up, and like it looks like it's getting marked off. But it says Harbor Master. Kind of getting the reference. It's talking about where you're coming from.
Gotcha.
But they didn't. They're dumb and don't know how to orient the arrow correctly.
Alright, so we can probably go to the left, which will show us that hatch, considering what was mentioned in that letter.
What's going on?
Or at least or possibly the inn or somewhere else in that part of this city. Or would this count as a city or a town?
This is a city. It's pretty big.
Oh, then yeah, this is probably other part of the city. So, which one do we want to go down?
Well,
I'd say my vote is on left, just so we can see in case there's any cargo that we can pick up on the way.
Well, there probably isn't any cargo down there because they would have already loaded it. At
Loaded
least the
it
ones
in,
that we're
yeah.
leaving today. Because it exploded.
probably smart to go towards.
I'm gonna give this to. I'm gonna give this to you guys as well because this would be pretty easily noticeable. So whereas the tunnel you guys were in was kind of thin, other side at this intersection, the tunnels going left or right are much wider. They're more about the 7 to 10 foot range as they were before. and in the ground, because it's wet and damp, you can see ruts that look like cart wheels, and you can see hoof prints along this route, like stuff's being carted back and forth in this area.
Well, I worry about going to the left, as we don't know if the hatch might have been damaged during the explosion, and we might have a limited amount of time being down here, to be honest.
Fair.
So what would you like to do?
Zavi, Kaya, you still have your own votes.
I say right to the hideout.
I agree.
All right then. Is it right?
Because if the explosion happened, I don't believe there's going to be anything to the left. At least nothing important.
Okay, you guys want to go to the right. Perfect. Is everyone in agreement? Everyone good?
Yep. The
Mhm.
party has spoken.
Okay. Alright. So heading down the right, it keeps wide open for a good bit. It snakes a few times here and there. Not too much, but it does. Kaya, are you still looking for anything? Is anybody else looking for anything now that you know there is a trap?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like eagle eyeing it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep
Okay.
an eye out for him.
Very
Perfect.
concerned
So
I don't want to get hit with anything.
So Zavi, you can attempt to give some aid. So because you're both looking, go ahead and Zavi make a perception roll first to see if the aid goes through.
7 plus 6 for 13. Although it almost was on a 1.
Okay. Okay. So not quite what I need for aid. So unfortunately for you, Kaya, it would just be a straight roll.
I got
Okay.
distracted.
I'm gonna cast guidance
It
on
happens.
myself. So I get a +1. So 9 plus 1 is 10 plus 7 is 17.
17. Okay. So you guys start your walking. Because it's a bit wider here, you can continue to go one by one if you want, or you can go 2 by 2, or 2 by 1 by 1, or 1 by 2 by 1. Whatever you guys want to do. But you can't be more than 2 wide. How would you guys like to continue moving?
1 by 0 by 2 by 1.
The little gap between.
Oh,
All right.
thank
Nah,
you
I'm
for
kidding.
that.
This guy over here. We got a jokester.
No, Zavi says that fully.
I heard trap, so I'm just gonna let you be a little further. Nah, I'm kidding. I'd say either 2 by 2 or 2 1 1. Basically Orion and Kaya up front, because Kaya can look for things and Orion can defend anything that comes at us and has light.
Yeah, I say
While
that's
I
fair.
can't see.
Alright, so, it's Kaya and Orion together with the two of you behind each one.
Yeah.
Or like 1 by 1 behind you.
Yep.
Cool. Alright, what was your perception again?
17.
Okay. So as you guys are making your way, there is a moment where you're walking and you don't quite see it, and you're too busy talking. And at the very last second, as your foot is about to fall, Kaya, you notice the same strange pattern on the ground. And the track mark seems to kind of go around it slightly, as though they're used to where this thing is. Unfortunately, your foot falls directly onto the plate as you and Orion hit that moment. And you hear a few clicks, and then coming from the sides. I need to know everyone's AC. Well, the two of you.
Alright, so is this a physical thing by chance?
You'll see. Why? What's the what? What, like, is there something you have that can potentially help?
Yes, remember my my reflex ability, reactive shield.
I'd say you could pull that. You'd have time to snap that up because you hear the click first.
Yep.
Before it releases. So that to me that makes sense that you'd have the time to pop it up.
Yep.
As a reaction. So go ahead and you can do that and add that to your AC.
Alright, 21.
16.
Okay. So I rolled an 11, and it has a plus 14.
What? A plus 14?
So that's 25.
So you had to roll below a 7.
Yeah, the traps are not meant to be dodged easily.
Or a nat 1 for Kaya to be able to avoid it.
So Kaya, you take 5 plus 2 plus 6. So 11, 12, 13 piercing damage.
Holy
We
crap.
just watch them get skewered. Well, we just go make new lives.
And then Orion, you take 6 plus 4 plus 1, so 11
Oh, that's not bad.
piercing.
Took me down half.
I just kind of look at Toa and go, I swear this doesn't happen all the time. You guys good?
Yeah, I'm still good, because you gotta remember, with the shield and everything else, it takes the damage. I just can't let it get destroyed.
As you guys are spitting blood and trying to be like, okay, deal with this.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't get any
All
damage.
right.
I'm writing on the
Oh,
wall.
that hit his shield, yeah.
Wrap. It with my chalk.
And
Circling all
after
the
you
holes.
guys step over it, obviously, Zombie and Toa, you're like, oh, don't step there. Just kinda go around it. But most interestingly, what you can see is the little platform raises back up, and you hear a couple of clicks as things go back into place for a reset.
Cool.
I wonder how many shots they have.
All
of
right.
those.
It's a good question. All right.
You want to
Just
heal
lay out-
yourself
just
real
lay-
quick?
Just lay down on the ground and just keep hitting it and just have them keep going.
Actually, I did have an idea. Are there any larger sized rocks in the area? Like, I'd say like between 5 and 10 pounds.
Yeah, I'm sure you could probably find some of those pieces because it's pretty crude in here. So yeah, it's not elegant.
I know what
There's
you're gonna
pieces
do.
here and there.
I'm going to take said rock and as we walk past, try and toss it like as we leave that area. Toss it onto that spot and leave the rock there so it won't reactivate. That's my goal for
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
It won't reset.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll anything because I'm sure, given enough time, you can eventually get it. A couple of tries, you know where it is. I mean, honestly, you can actually place it because, like, if you're just like, here you go, and then move back, like, you're not going to get hit. So yeah, that's exactly what you're thinking. It weighs it down enough to shoot off a couple of, like, these spears come flying out, and they end up going back in. So they don't. It's not like a reload thing. It's more like a floop, floop. But this time they stay out, and they do not go back in after a few seconds.
Let's just break those off real quick.
You could do that.
Wait, are they like
Yeah.
spears?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're spears. They're wooden spears with iron tips.
Would you like to take him out and have a spear? Would you like a spear, Orion?
You can have all the spears you want.
Above.
Look, that one even has some blood on it, of yours.
All right. Oh, not mine. It's hers. Also, above table, you guys doubt the power of a javelin spears. You guys really doubt that power. There's a bunch of crowd wars that use spears and all that stuff.
Who needs spears when I can shoot you with a super soaker?
Okay. So, do you guys want to say that you break them off? It's very easy to do so.
I'll snap a couple off.
Yeah, you can snap. There's 4 total, 2 on either side, so off.
All right.
Easily doable.
So I got 4 spears.
Do you actually get
Right.
the spears then, or are they just damaged?
If you want crude spears, you can have crude spears.
Yeah,
Alright.
I found them. Yeah, they
Orion
are.
can have 'em.
They wouldn't be usable for throwing at this point now, though, because of being snapped and stuff. But they still be used for stabbing. We can try to sell them.
And then I just started stabbing.
All right. You guys moving on?
Yeah.
Follow the tracks a little bit
Alright.
better than the trying to guess a pattern.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean,
I have an idea for you, Orion. I have a great idea for you. How long would
Alright.
you say one of these spears are? That is broken off.
3 feet.
Oh, perfect. You can use that as a. I've seen some people who are challenged with sight, with these canes that move back and forth to direct their like sense of surrounding. You can kind of do that, but with traps. So if it trips over a trap, it would be 3 feet out in front of you instead of inside of you.
Okay. I'll take that.
It's just an option.
While they're doing all of this, I'm plopping myself down on the ground and I'm gonna treat my wounds.
Too
Yeah,
bad.
go ahead and make your medicine check.
Too bad that can't treat your pride.
Alright, I got 11 plus 5. So 16. So
16? Yeah, that's enough. You can go. That's a success. So, was it 2d8?
yeah. Alright, I got a 4 and a 2, so I get a whole 6 points of healing. Which
That's something.
is not even.
Hopefully, you don't get worse within an hour.
I still have 7.
All right. Oh, yeah, that's right. You get that.
I have one, which
Okay.
I can cast one time. And I have a
Alright.
healing potion, so
Oh, you do guys still have one. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm still poking. I'm gonna just start poking around with the spear at this point.
Yeah. So,
Like Matt Murdock in here.
uh, Kaya, are you going to be on the lookout for more of these?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and take a one more perception check, and I'm not going to make you roll, Orion, because you're doing your thing with the Pokken. You can go ahead and take a +1 circumstance.
Yay.
Okay, so 19 plus, well, you said +1, so 20 plus 7 is 27.
Perfect, yeah. You end up seeing 2 more of these as you guys make your way along. With the second one you find, you can actually see a little bit of, like, dried blood on the ground. Well, I guess more on the wall, because the ground is moist, but, like, on the wall bits, you can see a little bit. It looks like it might be a little bit on the older side. So, you guys have evaded those.
Every time I find one, I mark on the wall "trap" in my chalk. I don't know how helpful it is to everybody else, because everything I write is obviously at Kaya's height. So it's short.
You walk up
Sound
on
like-
one, you accidentally hit it, it hits you in the knee, you fall to the ground and go, oh hey, there's a trap.
It's that waist level.
Well, I mean, it depends on how tall you guys are, because I'm not, like, I don't feel like I'm right. Maybe I'm writing it above my head, but even if I did that, that's only 3 feet tall.
I'm the closest to the height. I'm like 5'4", or 5'2", or something of that nature. 5'1".
Okay. So, as you guys make your way past, again, this seems to snake ever so slightly, but you come to another intersection. One, you can keep going forward, or there is a way going to your right. Kind of like in a mostly southern, southwestern, southeastern direction.
Okay.
And there is another crude written sign on the wall. The direction from what you guys were coming says hatch. The direction going straight says hideout, and the sign, the one pointing up, which would theoretically be going down the offshoot, says inn, INN.
We can go to the hideout where there could be some people in there. We can go to the inn where we know, based on that journal, the one person there would probably not be too thrilled of people popping out of a smuggler style area. That's the only thing I can think of this place being used for.
Do we hear any noises coming from the hideout?
No.
I would
We could also
say
still be too far away.
fair enough.
Yeah, you can still see that it keeps going on for a little bit further past your lit vision.
I like still going to the hideout. Going to the inn, I believe just we could easily go in there from up above. Like if we go back to town. But just popping in there and then that guy seeing us, that throws a red flag and that screws up anything that we're looking into.
Exactly. Yeah, my vote is for hideout.
Even if we kill him, that would be. And I'm not advocating for murder. I'm just saying, even if we had to, it would not be beneficial. We don't need
Don't
dead
worry.
bodies littering the way.
If we find him, I can chain him up, and I pull out my manacles. Manacles, not monocles.
Mandibles?
You guys are comedians, you know that?
Oh, goodness. So, context, Blake, and viewers as a remembrance, sessions ago, they had captured, I guess you could call it someone, and Kaya decided to put manacles on them to keep them in place, as well as having them tied up with rope. Jay did not think she said manacles, thought she said monocle.
I thought it was sitting on his chest. Glasses on his face.
So
Just that
now
one
he's made fun of
letter.
you forever.
It was just that one letter.
Okay.
Also, now you know that Kaya just has handcuffs on her at all times.
I'd be questioning if there were fuzzy handcuffs at that point.
No, that's I don't know.
No,
that one.
my
If
friend.
you wanted them to be,
No.
that's your friend. That's the quartermaster from Sayota. Right. Anyway, are you guys going to the inn, or are you going continuing onward towards the hideout?
Hideout?
I know.
Hideout.
Cool.
Alright, hide up.
All right. You guys make your way, and after maybe another 5 minutes of walking, first off, you realize this is a pretty long tunnel. You guys have been doing this for close to 20 to 30 minutes now, just straight up walking. This is pretty long. But eventually, the sound is different. You get the slightest notion that you hear something or someone moving as you start, getting further along. After another few minutes, you end up right near the edge of your lit vision. You guys can see there is a gate preventing further movement beyond, with a lock on the front of it. Well, it's more like a door. It's not like a padlock on it. It's like a lock that's built into the gate itself.
Okay.
Can I take a look through the lock gate through the keyhole to see if I see anything?
You cannot. It's it doesn't go straight through.
Ah, damn it.
We can A, try the door. We can B, knock. And I'm saying this more quiet so that way if there's somebody on the other side that can't really hear. Or, granted, it may still give them notice that somebody's here, but I can try to pick the lock.
Why don't you try the door first?
Probably a smart.
Yeah, you can see. This is a gate that has it does have a central latch that would allow it to swing open. It's just essentially large double doors. Think of it that way. Like a gate.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Toa said, you can try it.
I'm gonna try it.
Before you do,
It's locked.
That's what I thought.
before you do that, can I put my ear against the door and see if I can hear anything from the other side?
Yeah. I'll tell you for free that you can definitely hear movement and talking. But if you want to try to discern anything further, you'd have to do a perception check.
Oh, roll it. There we go. That is 17 plus 6, 23.
23, perfect. You hear at least 3 different voices all kind of talking, and it seems they're all talking quite hurriedly and kind of, harshly at each other. And I will say that you get a couple different definitive lines out of this that you can hear them say. And one of them is, "We have to get rid of this." The other is, there was a response back to that that says, "How would you suggest doing that?" The other voice responds, "I don't know, but you saw what happened on top." And then it's just kind of, it gets muffled out because another voice comes in. They all start arguing. so hard with each other that you can't make out individual sentences. But they sound like they're definitively further away from the door. Like, it's not like they're right up against it. They're pretty far away from the door. The gate.
I kind of, as he's listening, I kind of gesture to Orion before I try to open the door and then find out it's locked. Just be like, should I? Should I?
I kind of tell them. I kind of do this. There's four kind of people in there.
34 people in there,
Three. Damn it.
damn.
Okay.
But I'm guessing you can also
So what do you
say
wanna do?
softly what's going on, so you can actually communicate still.
Should we just go in there and start attacking, or should we just kind of back away from this?
I can't let them get rid of anything.
Fair
That's our
enough.
evidence.
We
Leave them alive, though.
we could say that we are here to help. We're not far away, and we were able to make it ashore and come down here to help dispose of evidence,
Put on
acting like
fact.
we are part of,
MRM.
exactly.
Who's got the best speech?
I mean, I'm pretty decent.
I don't know, you got a bard.
Yeah,
Honestly,
a bard that doesn't know how to keep their mouth shut.
We've got a bard and a
Rude.
rogue with lie to me as a feat. So
Oh, that's true.
So,
I'm just gonna shut up and then just be the muscle.
Let's see. So,
granted, that's
we
more
wanna-
for anyone trying to deceive me, but still.
So, what do you want
Well-
to do?
Well, I would say, if
No.
anything, at least have Kaya be the talker. Technically, if they're lying, you can technically pick that up if they're addressing us as a group. Correct?
Who's that directed at?
To Zavi, because is that how that ability works?
So your
it's
ability
where you can
works
pick
if
up-
someone's
No.
lying to you.
Yeah, that's if somebody's lying to me, I can trip them up in their lie. So it's not gonna work for me making a lie for them.
Yeah, that's where your bard comes in good handy.
Yeah.
Then I would say, yeah, let Kaya kind of take the reins. If they're lying to us as a group, we might be able to pick it up, but
But
Might
I would-
add a
go ahead.
suggestion?
Yeah.
There's one individual of their group that we know is currently not here, who also happens to be of the female variety, and we happen to have one individual here who can maybe make themselves seem like said person, and they probably would know.
That or we are being sent here by the platinum sale. One of those two. Because if Sven sent us here, then it also gives some weight to why we're here. So either we pretend to be Magar, or pretend to be sent by Sven.
I'll give
I'd
you
rather
guys.
be.
Well, I'll let you guys figure stuff out. I'm not gonna referee too much.
I was gonna say I'd rather be someone new at that point, because at least then, with that, if it's Magara, that might be a little bit too shoddy, because then at that point they might just turn and say, "Why did that explosion go off?" or anything like that.
Also, the fact that if they do open the doors and it's not her, then it's immediate that they're gonna probably attack us.
Why would they attack us to begin with? We're down here. This is obviously illegal.
Yes, but if we come in and we are pretending to be somebody that we are not, and they find out that we are trying to deceive them, they may not care what we are doing. They may just try to get rid of us so that way we don't say anything to anybody else. But that's up to you. I'm not the one that's going to be talking. So last time I tried to get through something like this, it did not work for me. Worked one time. I worked myself right into a situation I probably shouldn't have been in, and right back out of it.
All right. So what you guys want to do?
Yep.
Haya, I believe that you are probably going to be the one to speak, so it's your decision.
Before anything else, let me ask you a question. Are you guys going to talk through the door, or try to find some way to get it open?
Oh no, I'm gonna pound on the door. Frantically.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the way I thought of it as well. Knock on the door, basically saying that we are sent here by the Platinum Sale was my direction, I was gonna say. So that way it gives us a reason to be there, and it gives them, oh, we don't recognize you, but if he sent you, you must be supposed to be here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Sven snuck us on to, what was it, the Crown Spoil. That was what the ship we were on, right? I was gonna say he snuck us onto the Crown Spoil, and then be like, "What the fuck is going on? We have to get this. We have to get this sorted. Let us in."
That's your goal?
That's my thing. Yep.
Okay.
I agree with that.
All right. So your first goal is knocking on the door.
Yeah, pound. I'm like.
Okay. So as soon as you do that, all the talking on the inside stops, and you hear "what the," and you hear some movement coming towards the door, and you hear you can actually hear the definitive sound of some swords being pulled from sheaths.
I dispel the light spell.
Okay, and it gets dark, pretty dark.
I take my sword cane out.
It definitely gets pretty pitch black because there's no other light source down here now.
I'll light a torch.
Okay.
Because we had to have gotten through the tunnel somehow.
Okay. So you can easily do that while they're making their way over. And the other side of the gate, you hear, "Who are you?"
Hey, Sven sent us on the Crown Spoil. He got us onto the Crown Spoil, and we were supposed to take care of stuff further inland for him. And then all this shit broke out today. What the fuck is going on? We have to get this stuff cleared out, guys. They're gonna come looking. They're gonna search her house. Mogara is hurt. She is really hurt.
Make a diplomacy roll.
Alright. That is a 12 plus 8. So a dirty 20.
Okay, 320. Perfect. So here, we could use the help. Fine then, let yourselves in. You should have a key given by Sven.
He
I'm gonna
gave
stop,
us
like,
one. I dropped it in the commotion outside. I have no idea where it went to.
Make a deception roll.
I cast guidance on him.
What does guidance give me? +1?
A +1.
So that is a 10 plus 8 plus 1, so 19.
19. You hear the other side. It was quite hectic. Still, we need to have that key on your end. Go and
I'll
find
make sure
it.
to find it. I will make sure to find it. Let us in first.
All right. I'm gonna let that roll stand, and they'll say, "Fine. Then tell us this. If Sven has sent you, who is his most trusted confidant?"
I know who it is. That's the worst part. I just don't know the name.
Is it above table? Do we think it's his brother? But his brother is now.
No, I want to say it's the one that he used to trick me, but I can't remember what her name was, or what her name was.
It was a guy fox.
Yes.
What name did he tell you?
It was probably a fake. It was a fake name though. It was the.
No, he was using originally the name of the original navigator. So he never gave me his name exactly.
Yeah.
But I feel like afterwards somebody mentioned his name.
I don't know.
Might not be Jacques. Maybe.
No, Jacques is just a smuggler.
And he.
Oh wait,
Or
was Jacques the?
I thought Jacques was.
Well, there's Christopher.
Christopher was the smuggler. So, oh, I feel like we know this, but
If there's ever time for a history check, this would be it.
Is there any way that I would have found or would have known the name from the ship, the name of that fox?
I don't believe
can't remember.
he actually ever gave it to you.
Mm-mm.
Damn, I don't. Okay, yeah. Because he gave me a fake name. That's why I trusted him, and that's why when I saw the navigator afterwards, I just thought I was dealing with them at first.
Yeah, I don't remember if the navigator even gave their name. But it's probably to me, it's almost an impossibility for you guys to not have figured out its name. You guys were on the water with them for 15 days.
Yeah. But that's not the one we need to know.
Yeah, so the name of that navigator you guys would know, but if you want, I'll give it to you, but I don't think it's going to be helpful.
No, that's not helpful.
No.
Christopher,
I didn't know if... Huh?
Christopher is the man that's running the inn. That's the man that he placed Christoph.
Yeah, I don't think it's him though. It would be someone closer to him.
So
I'm about ready to just be like, Zavi, pick the lock.
You guys are on a timer now because they're waiting for their answers. I'm going to give you guys maybe 30 more seconds to think of this.
Just pick the lock. Or Orion.
One second. I'm just checking one thing real quick. Oh, never mind. That person doesn't matter. Never mind, that doesn't work. I am going to work on picking the lock.
Okay. Go ahead and make a... so you can do pick a lock action. Go ahead and do a thievery check.
That is a 14 plus 8 for 22.
22. Yeah. You pick the lock. And as you start going through it, you do pick it, although you hear a clink, 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 and feel something very sharp as a piece comes out through the lock and gets you right in the hand. I need you to make a fortitude save. And also take 1 piercing damage.
Can I yell Christopher? Just to check.
It's not going to be Kristoff. He's just a low-end smuggler. That is a 12 plus 6 for fortitude.
So 18?
Yep.
That's not quite enough. So you feel something inject. And you suffer a little bit of effects of poison. And so you now have the drained condition. You are drained 1. So you have a penalty to anything relating to Constitution, like any kind of check relating to it or your fortitude saves. It's just -1. It's only drained 1 at the moment. And your hit points, you lose hit points times the drained value. So 1. You lose 1 hit point. And
Also, this. Oh, I was gonna say this website makes it so easy for that.
Yes. So your hit point max is taken down by 1 total. So even if you heal, you can't heal back up until you're done with the drain condition. And you also, let's see. Yes, each hour you will have a problem with this. Get worse. As of right now, you have stage 1 of the poison. So you are going to take some poison damage, and it's only 2 poison. You can lose the drain condition though by having a long rest, or having the poison just work through your system.
What if I start trying to suck the poison out and spitting it out then?
Not quite. All right, but
Medicine check. Damn it.
You do end up getting the lock open. Now, before that happens, did any of you want to try yelling out a name while he's working on this to see if that works? Like, you guys can try to do that.
I will.
They're gonna get tripped up. We're gonna get screwed because we picked the lock. So I'll yell Anton.
Okay.
Do you want to yell Christoph just for
Yeah,
the hell of it?
Yell, Christoph.
So Anton and Kristoff, you hear a pause, and you hear, "They're not with him. Sven trusts no one."
That's
And
so dumb.
you hear one of them yell, "Quick, burn it all!"
With the door open.
And some running, and then of course the door then opens. On the inside of this room, as it opens up, immediately in front of you are there are 3. I think there's actually 4. They'd be right in front of you. Let me double check my listing here of how many people exactly, because there's one that wasn't part of that conversation.
The door opens.
Yes, you have.
Hi there, everybody.
3 people right in front of you. An orc, a human, and a lizard folk. The lizard folk and human are dressed in kind of raggedy clothing, and they have a patch going around their shoulders here that has an insignia of a white sail, like a ship's mast. The orc has something different. He has a signet on his chest that has a letter M on it. Looking beyond from where you guys are standing, you can see there's a central pillar in this room, and you can hear there's someone behind it. You can't see them, but you can hear it from this angle because they're moving. But you can also see another human with the same getup as the human and the lizard folk running over to the other corner of the room. In this room, in the immediate right, you see tons and tons of stacks of crates and barrels and sacks, all kinds of stuff. And then you can see there's more to the room to your immediate right, plus around this pillar. And then the person who is running looks like they're running towards a desk in the far corner. The 3 people in front of you are swords drawn, and they're going to get ready to attack the moment the door opens. And so we will end up rolling initiative next time.
One thing. As the door opens, I just have my sword drawn already because I already had it drawn.
Yeah.
And just look at them and smile. Hey, everybody, you ready for the show?
And you know what? If you want to start off, you could do that as a demoralize. You could have a check
Intimidation.
to intimidation as your initiative if you want next week.
No, I'm not doing that. Perception's +6, intimidation's +2.
Gotcha. All right, but we will get into that fight next week. You guys have had a lot happen. It's getting a little bit on the later side for us, and I think that this is a good place to get this through. You guys had some damage happen to you today before even getting to said fight. 2 of you got stabbed with spears, and 1 of you got stabbed with a needle and poisoned. Unfortunately.
Yeah, they're gonna pay for that.
So that's gonna be some fun times next week, and I can't wait to see what you guys end up doing with this. But I think we're gonna go ahead and close tonight. So, thank everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed us getting off topic a good bit. I hope you enjoyed having a bit of a difference happen in the campaign. For once, us cutting away and showing you guys something rather than just us talking. It's just easier to have the journal they found shown to you guys in a way that's not us just popcorn reading to it to you. But we'll see what our heroes get into next week. But with that, we're closing tonight. So to everyone out there, please come back and see some more of us. We can't wait to see what happens, and we can't wait to give you guys more content. Don't forget to like and to comment, subscribe, ring bell so you can get notified whenever we put any new videos out, and then definitely check out our Tavern Talk on this, coming out in 2 days after this video releases. But with that, we're signing off, so we will see all of you next time. Good night.
Take care, everyone.